So HBO's Velma series has acquired more weekly viewers than The Last of Us. I don't know about you, but every video I've seen about this series has been full of hatred, and personally I haven't checked it out. I planned on doing it eventually, but honestly I think I'm just going to skip it entirely, or maybe I'll check it out when the entire season's available. But the point is, every person I've seen who has watched this has said it's garbage. So how, in what world did this series acquire more weekly viewers than The Last of Us, an actual good show? Well, it's this world, because that's happening. But the reason that's happening is because of one thing, and one thing only. I am 99% positive that everyone watching the show is not enjoying it. They are watching it out of hate. Hate watching is a serious thing that, happens a lot. Personally, I initially started hate watching the show Teen Titans Go before I actually found enjoyment in it. Is this the second time I'm bringing up Teen Titans Go in a span of a week? Yes, it is. But, you know, it's a good show and I recommend you watch it. So go watch Teen Titans Go. Go watch it right now, please. If you don't know what the HBO series Velma is, it is a adult animated cartoon. Well, of course it's a cartoon if it's animated. That was a stupid way to phrase it, but it's adult animation about one character in the Scooby Gang, but it also has the rest of the gang besides the dog, Scooby. Velma is written by comedian Mindy Kaling from Office fame, and she's also voiced by the same person. And I say this with a loving heart. Never give this woman another writing job in Hollywood ever again. Now again, you might be saying, you just said in the beginning of the video you haven't watched it. How are you going to judge something without watching it? Well, Twitter has basically made me watch it with the countless clips I've seen pop up on my timeline, and the fact that 99% of those clips I've seen is saying Freddy has a small penis is, it's not the best representation of a series.
But also that he was just another entitled rich guy who might kill someone because he has a tiny dong.
And then you have the Shaggy stand-in, Norville, who professes his love for Velma on occasion, and she just laughs in his face, and he's a pathetic loser.
I like you. Like you.
Wait, what? No, you don't. You're like a brother to me. That's hilarious.
And I understand diverting expectations, but as everyone knows, Shaggy is a stoner. He's just in kid animation, so it's not, they're not capable of showing us that fact. But in the show, they make it a fact to flip expectations and say that he would never touch that stuff in his life. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Again, I'm just saying that you are being different just to be different, and it is very obvious because the things you're doing are just the most obvious things to do. And again, personally, for me, Scooby-Doo is actually like a Trojan horse love of mine. Like, you wouldn't expect it, but deep down I have a deep love for these characters, especially because of the cartoon Mystery Inc. I watched it all the time as a kid, and I just find a lot of enjoyment within the stories that they can tell with these characters. And I personally think that Fred is the best character in the gang. He has a lot of good stories to tell, especially in Mystery Inc., as I mentioned before, because he's just like this stupid rich guy, but he has a heart of gold who cares for his friends and will do anything for them. And in this show, he's just brought down to an unfortunate level where he's a baby who can't take care of himself, who needs someone to cut his food for him. And again, Velma and I assume the rest of the gang are constantly joking about his tiny dick.
You didn't mention Fred had a tiny dong.
Oh yeah, real baby carrot.
Show us.
But I haven't talked about the actual character of Velma yet, right? So every video I've seen, I've heard that she is the complete opposite of a likable character, so that would mean unlikable if you didn't know. So there you go. There's a quick, grammar lesson. The opposite of likable is unlikable, and that's what they made the main character. But if you know what a protagonist is, they're supposed to be likable. The person that you're watching every week, like week to week, they're supposed to be a likable person. And if they're not, you're not going to enjoy the show. So there's that. From the jokes I've seen on Twitter, it reminds me a lot of the Lily Singh late night show. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but a few years ago, Lily Singh, a YouTuber, transitioned to late night, and I'm not sure if that show's still going on. I assume it's not because it was garbage, but she would constantly make jokes about how she's not a man and how she's a woman of color, and I get it. You can make those jokes if you want to, but they are the lowest hanging fruit, and the Velma show apparently does the same thing. They also touch a lot on movie cliches and TV show cliches. So the show Riverdale, I don't know if anyone has watched that, but I unfortunately have, opens with a pilot that is very sexual in nature. You know, the two main character girls make out, and there's a lot of sex within it. And then later on, that kind of goes away, because that pilot was to draw people into the more mature nature of it. So Velma pokes fun at that, and they're like, why do shows always have gratuitous sex and nudity in the first episode? And then it does that thing that a lot of people dislike, where it tries to get too meta, and it's like, if this was a TV show, this would happen. But it's not a TV show, you know, even though it is, because we're watching it, but they don't want us to know that it's a TV show. You know, that's the whole joke. I don't know if you know the joke, but the joke is that it is a TV show, but it's saying that it's not a TV show, so they're not going to do, you know, they're not going to do that. But here's the other thing. They do it. The pilot has, you know, all the things that they say they're not going to do. And that's the whole joke. Do you get the joke? If you get the joke, just let me know. Okay, comment below if you get the joke. Because I think it's a very high IQ joke. So, yeah, just let me know.
See, now if this was a show, it'd be super hot if you two kissed.
Krista, if this was a show, you'd be killed off for being horny.
Hate watching is what makes this show so popular and what makes it get renewed for a season 2, which apparently it is. And it has more weekly viewers than The Last of Us, which is also currently airing at the time, and it's genuinely a good adaptation of a good video game. But this is drawing in more weekly viewers. How is that possible? Hate watching is like a disease, you know? Like when you watch a YouTube video, right? And you see those YouTubers who have millions of subscribers and billions of views, but you're like, their content is trash. How do they have this much? Like Jake Paul, for instance, right? This is completely going off the rails, but take Jake Paul. He was one of the most hated people on earth, but he was making millions. He had billions of views. Each video was ranging like 10 million views, and that's because people hated him so much that they still tuned in to his videos to see what stupid crap he was doing so they could tweet about it later and say that he was stupid for doing those things. The same thing is happening with the Velma series. People are tuning in each week to see the episode so people can tweet in later about how garbage the writing is and how they wish the show could be canceled. But the funny thing is, it's doing the opposite of that, because if you're watching the series, you're getting views, and the people who make the show aren't looking at your tweets, they're looking at the analytics of the show. Now, I'm sure a lot of them do know that it's all hate watching, but that doesn't matter because they're justifying to the network that this gets views, even if it is bad. It's just like the oldest saying ever in Hollywood. Bad publicity is still good publicity. I don't even think that's the way you say it, but that's what's in my brain right now, so that's how I said it. And because of the people hate watching, that's the whole reason I can make this video without being, you know, completely out of the loop. Because I've seen clips of this episode of people tweeting, look how bad this clip from this episode is. Look how bad this joke is. Look how lowbrow this joke is. Look at them make fun of Fred for the 1000th time because they don't understand that he's the best character in the Scooby-Doo gang. Nobody understands that. And it's really upsetting.
I'm tired of being afraid. I have feelings, world, for Traps and Daphne. I'm a guy no more. I'm coming, Daphne!
Hate watching is like a plague on the industry because things that are good, not many people seek out, right? Because if you see them, you saw something good, you try to get other people to watch it, you tell them, hey, this was pretty good, and they say, oh, I'll get around to it. When something is bad, though, it scratches an itch in our brain where it's like, I need to see that right now so I can be in the loop and so I can tweet about it or post about it on Instagram or make a video about it. And this way, I'll get popular because I'm hating on the thing that everyone else is hating. Something that I mentioned in the beginning of this video is the show Teen Titans Go. right? When that show first came out, I can imagine that the hate watching was through the roof. And that's the reason this is going on to a 9th season soon, right? So many people tuned in because they canceled the original Teen Titans because that was a better show, and people wanted to see what they replaced it with, and they knew that it was garbage, so they hate watched it, and I'm sure they tweeted about it saying they should cancel this and bring back the old one. The difference with that, though, is that that show adapted to its audience. That show found out that their main audience wasn't children, it was people my age watching the show because they like the characters and because they hate that the old show got canceled for this. So in later seasons, you actually start to see the humor kind of develop more and have deeper cuts to comics because they know comic readers are watching. The show never escapes, child humor like fart jokes and stuff, but they also add depth to certain jokes. So am I saying Velma is a lost cause? I don't completely think so. I think season 2 can adapt and acknowledge that the first season had terrible jokes and it made terrible decisions, but they can realize what they did wrong and they can improve upon that and make the characters a little bit more like their other counterparts that this is adapting. But do I think that's actually going to happen? Not a chance in hell is that going to happen. No way. Whenever I see Mindy Kaling, I just get the vibe that she is someone who loves that people hate her. She came into this IP and completely demolished it, made people hate the character of Velma and hate everyone surrounding her. Hell, she wrote out the dog. The main part of the show, she wrote it out. She came in looking to be edgy and to piss fans off, and it worked. So when they inevitably make a season 2 because the viewership is so high, they're not going to change anything. It's all going to be the same. And the worst part is everyone is going to go back and watch it. Instead of watching Velma, maybe watch The Last of Us week to week. This show is genuinely fantastic, and I can't wait to watch it all and make a review after the fact, but that's not something you should hate watch because it's just great. I just can't believe how much of a plague hate watching is. It ruins the industry because we keep getting terrible things, and then good things get canceled because they're not being watched as much. It's really unfortunate, and I hope to see that change one day, but I just really don't think it will. Anyway, if you guys made it this far, thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to rant a little bit about this series that I haven't watched and will never watch, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and yeah, I really appreciate the view. So, thanks for being your best self. I'll see you later.